Yankees have moved Adam Ottavino. He has been traded to the Boston Red Sox. They send a prospect along with Adam Ottavino, and the Red Sox, according to John Heyman, are the Yankees are they're taking on the entire $11 million to go on his deal. So no money changing hands. So the Red Sox will pay Ottavino's $11 million. Heyman also tweeted out saying the Yankees apparently also had some question about whether New York was the right spot for Ottavino, which John said, which is kind of weird because he is from Brooklyn. His performance has not been particularly good in the postseason, Maggie, and they had no trust in him last year in the playoffs where they only trusted three relievers. So the Yankees, after they make the Jameson Taillon deal yesterday with the Pirates, he's getting introduced to the media. They've now traded Adam Ottavino to the Red Sox along with a prospect, and they get out from underneath the $11 million that Ottavino is owed this year.
Yeah, so a couple things just first hit me right out the bat, which is, I mean, the Yankees are not messing around with trying to shed salary, but I understand because Ottavino had fallen out of favor, and what was really touted as this great signing when he came over from Colorado, it's kind of shocking to me how sour that went so quickly. I mean, remember, it was Ottavino, and then they kept Britton and, you know, and Aroldis Chapman and Chad Green, and here you go with like your power bullpen here, and Ottavino, you know, really was the postseason of 2019. You know, he had an ERA over 8, and, you know, they thought maybe that he got exposed at times, and they were putting him up in the most highest leverage situations, and unfortunately it didn't come out his way, and then they obviously didn't trust him last year. You know, and then so I guess that's kind of one thing that hit me is how quickly this went downhill for Ottavino here, and then the other one is, are they going to replace him? You'd think that they would. You still have Britton, you still have Chapman, you still have Green, you got, you know, your usual suspects with the Cessas and Loaizagas, right? But are they gonna try to do anything meaningful to replace Adam Ottavino? If they're this intent on shedding salary, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think they could take that money and add another reliever. I mean, who else is in that bullpen right now, though, Maggie?
Well, Britton, Chapman, Green.
Well, no, outside of the top three.
Oh.
Outside of the top three, where you had Ottavino at one time was that fourth guy, right? But you've got three guys that you lean on. It's Chapman, it's Britton, it's Chad Green. We know that. Those were the three relievers they had last year in the postseason. Those are the only three relievers that Aaron Boone trusted in the postseason. So I would think that the Yankees would be in the market to add another reliever at some point in free agency after getting out from underneath from Adam Ottavino. And an interesting tweet from Joel Sherman saying, you know, Ottavino is really good against dominant or predominant right-handed lineups, which happen to be the Yankees. So we'll see how well he pitches this year as a member of the Boston Red Sox. I think Ottavino needed to be out. I think the Yankees had little to no trust in Ottavino, so I get why he was moved. We speculated last year after the season came to an end, was this going to be it for Adam Ottavino in a Yankee uniform? And there was wide-ranging speculation that he'd be moved. So eventually he did. It probably happened later than we all anticipated, but eventually did happen. He continues his career with the Boston Red Sox. I would think, Maggie, that they freeze up a little bit of money to now go add another reliever. I don't know if it's not going to get you a high-end reliever, but you've got to add another reliever for Aaron Boone and Blake and company, no?
I just think they say, listen, we're hoping for upside from Kluber and from Taillon, and you're hoping you get Severino back, and you're hoping Domingo Germán comes back and pitches well. You have all these young arms, and maybe you're not going to have to be so reliant on your bullpen. But they still have like an incredible bullpen. This is actually what it goes to show you. You really are not worried about the person when you trade them to the Boston Red Sox. I mean, that's not like trading them any other place. You know, that's really saying we don't think much of you because this is our biggest rival, and maybe the Red Sox are not going to be in it this year, and maybe the Rays, and we'll figure out what's going on with the AL East, and the Jays are obviously coming on strong, but I mean, to get traded to the Red Sox, if Ottavino doesn't take that personally, I don't know what you would take personally, because that's the Yankees saying, we're going to see you in a regular season 19 times a year, and we don't care.
Right, but look at that bullpen depth. It's been cut. You're right about that with the Boston Red Sox. I don't think the Yankees really thought all that much of Ottavino, not the individual, just what he was on the mound
pitching,
at this stage. So, but look at where this Yankee bullpen is. Yes, top end, it was great, but no Dylan Betances, no Tommy Kahnle, no Adam Ottavino. You still have, yes, three high-end relievers in Aroldis Chapman, even though Yankee fans are questionable whether or not he can close a game out in a big-time spot because we've seen it the last two postseasons. Yeah. You still have Zach Britton, and you still have Chad Green, who has gotten used at times, and I would say maybe overused at times as well. But you still have those three guys. But at one point in time, you went 6 deep, Maggie. You're no longer going 6 deep. You're going 3 deep right now when you're looking at those high-end relievers where the Yankees were heavily invested in. But Canley's now signed with he's had Tommy John surgery, but he signed with, the Dodgers in the offseason. Ottavino now got traded to the Boston Red Sox, and we know Dylan Betances last offseason signed with the Mets and then picked up that player option, and he'll be back with the Mets here in 21. So that complexion of that bullpen and the depth in that bullpen from where it was a couple years ago to where it is now is night and day.